Good Tuesday afternoon. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. We're looking at a threat for some thunderstorm activity today, and we're seeing a little bit of that. And currently right now, the large picture, what we can see is this upper level trough of lower pressure. It was a cutoff low, and it's now just kind of lifted out as a trough, a little bit weaker. That's going to be hanging around, as this is going to be a very slow moving prospect. Behind it, not a whole lot going on, but we have some minor ridges of higher pressure, and eventually some of that's going to work on in, it looks like, for Thursday. And especially as we get into this coming weekend, we'll see some energy driven by the jet stream up in the northern part of Canada begin to push further to the south and east, and this is going to give us some cooler than normal readings that will advect into the region along about Saturday. And then we'll start to see a warming trend, it looks like, along about Sunday. Let's get to all the details and look at the latest computer modeling. So we're looking at the European on the left-hand side, and I'm going to just back this up 1 hour. So this is valid 2 o'clock this afternoon, 18Z. We have the GFS ensemble on the right-hand side, and you can see your different resolution levels. So we got better resolution with the European. And you can see that we're under the gun with some rain shower activity. We'll stop it here. This is valid now at about 2 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. Most of the showers and thunderstorm activity is long wound down, but still lingering across the far northern areas. And this looks like it's going to be the case here during the day on Wednesday. As you can see, a little bit more of a uptick. Now, these gray areas are basically very low amounts of precipitation. What ends up happening is the European model has a little more of a feedback issue, and it looks like it does present basically cloud cover, making it look like precipitation when it's at very, very light levels. So that's what you're seeing here. So we're valid at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday. You can see a little bit of green here. The GFS ensemble is kind of indicating light precipitation again. So those are going to linger, unfortunately, into the later part of the afternoon on Wednesday. And eventually, we're going to see things dry out, and the next day is going to be Thursday, so no issues for Wednesday night. We got Thursday with just a little bit of this sort of feedback moisture again. Looking at the GFS ensemble, that's indicating some, again, very light showers. So we could see some pop-up showers across mainly the northern tier regions along about Thursday afternoon. But the rest of the state is going to be relatively dry, so we're looking at generally a fairly good project weather day, despite the fact that the northern tier is going to see some of those showers. Now, as we get into basically Thursday night and then Friday, here comes the weather system on Friday, and this one has a little potency to it. And latest indications are we could see about somewhere around 35, maybe up to about 40 knots of shear with this. And this will be a frontal boundary that will actually area of low pressure and then pulling a frontal boundary along it on Friday. So Friday could be a day that's going to feature a little bit more of some strong thunderstorms, potentially locally severe. A long ways out, we'll have to keep a close eye on it, and we'll have future heads up accordingly. And this is Friday, and you can see that the shower and thunderstorm activity will linger probably into Friday evening, and then an area of higher pressure will begin to build in for much better conditions over this coming weekend. It's going to lower the temperature some. The latest model projections, temperatures for the European model give us Montpelier about 69-degree high. So a little bit on the cooler side, and this area of higher pressure looks to be established across the region for Saturday with a very fine day. Looks like a little bit of touch of fall. Wouldn't worry about that extra precip. It's very slow to move out according to the GFS ensemble, but we have that area of higher pressure right overhead. It looks like Saturday night, and then that's going to also hold at bay any showers or thunderstorms on Sunday, and that may linger into Monday before another frontal system begins to push into the region. And you can see that it's cold enough here around Hudson Bay to actually see temperatures cold enough to see a little bit of wet snowflake action way, way up to the north. But this is a kind of an autumn air mass that's going to try to work in. You can see how close that gets into Vermont. That means colder weather along about the middle part of next week. This is valid again 31st of August, well beyond the period. GFS ensemble is not in bad agreement with the European here, but we can see that the biggest precipitation maker with the 3-hourly QPF here with the GFS ensemble showing up center grid on Montpelier is the most that we're going to see today. So some locally heavy rain showers at times, and we need the rainfall big time, so that's all good news there. Now, looking at the total amounts of QPF, we can see that that rise gives us somewhere around 6 to 8 tenths of an inch total. Again, this is on the grid point for Montpelier, so this will vary. And the latest deterministic model is this. You can see this sort of blue line right here, and that particular plume is indicating less precipitation, and that's kind of the trend that I'm seeing. Now, I want to show you, basically, we're going to go to 850 temperatures. You can see that there's not a whole lot of changes, a little bit cooler eventually, but the main thing to see here is probably going to be Cape. And we have a day of Cape here with 1200 joules per kilogram working toward 1400. Now, overlaying shear, you notice that this particular date is a little bit higher as well, and certainly down the road. That's all based off surface heating. And then looking at shear, the area of worry would be along about Friday, this being Tuesday, and we're not looking at any shear issues for today. So thunderstorms will be fairly short-lived, not a big deal, more rain showers and locally heavy rainfall. However, we got some wind to contend with, somewhere around 35 knots. The buff kit, looking at the NAM model, indicates somewhere around 35, almost 40 knots of shear. And so Friday could have some strong to locally severe thunderstorm potential, and we'll have to keep a close eye on that for Friday. Of course, future heads up will be issued then. And then after that, things kind of fall down at that point in time. Kind of typical, not a lot of precip. This is the 7-day total amounts of accumulated rainfall, or QPF. And what we can see for Vermont here is we're running about half an inch with this green line, and then the blue line here is about 1 inch. This is 1.5, so heavier amounts across the St. Lawrence Valley, and lesser amounts as you head into southern parts of New England. Looking at temperature, the Climate Reanalyzer, University of Maine, nice product. We have basically temperatures here above normal, anomalously cool in the south where there's been raining, also up in parts of northern Canada. And so that's going to set the stage. This is the 5-day high temperature MOS, meteorological output statistics, running about 3 to 6 degrees above normal for Vermont, neutral toward the Canadian Maritimes. 3 days later, you can see the trends a little bit warmer, running about 6 to 9 degrees in some parts of the Northeast, and so on. In the tropics, we have this system here, about a 0% chance for formation over the next couple of days. And then a couple of easterly waves coming in off the West African coast. This is a little more extended out. We can see about 10% chance with that easterly wave, and the one that's coming off the West African coast, about a 20% chance. Any activity here to worry about is going to be long into the next outlook period. Looking at the European ensemble, tropical cyclone ensemble, and what you can see is this is one working off the West African coast, followed by another. And this is what the National Hurricane Center is alluding to. This system has a little more beef coming off the coast, but all in all, no threats for North America, Canadian Maritimes, or even the Gulf Coast. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights, thanks for watching.